We're battered! We are impacted! We're battered! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power that make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted episode 169, coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your favourite shows, we are there. I am your host, Bison, and today I am joined, of course, by the man only known as the Joker. And, of course, the nightclub master of disaster himself, LimpstarUK Craig. Hello, buddies. How we doing?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
good man.
Good. Glad to have you guys with us. What have you been up to this week? Anything of interest? Have you been DJing it? At anywhere in particularly cool recently?
Yeah, I did have a gig on Saturday actually. Done a thing. It's called back to back. So obviously you do a set with another DJ, and you kind of do 2 tunes each, and you kind of just work up some chemistry together with a good friend of mine, Jimmy P.
It's a bit like a DJ battle type thing.
Yeah, but we're on the same side, so
Yeah.
it's we really put out a good set, got everyone singing and dancing and stuff. So it's a real feel good gig, to be fair. So yeah, my ears aren't ringing too bad now. It's Wednesday, but I couldn't have heard a thing on Monday.
And what about you, Joe? What you been up to, bud?
I've recently finished one of my YouTube projects. I'm focusing on something else while I build up to the next project there. I finished that last week, and apart from that, I've been catching up on TNA.
Awesome.
Trying to shrug off any sieges and that I've come across over the past couple of days. And
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I just crack on, mate. I don't really pay any attention to a lot of that negative shit. Because like we said last week on the show, I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes fully. So it's very difficult to have an opinion on something that you don't really know anything about. But there you go. I've basically spent last few days I've been spending with my family. My dad has been down from Bristol, which was quite cool. So I've been spending a bit of time with him. We've been doing a few bits here. Went down the pier in the rain today, down at number 1 North Sea, which was interesting. Having getting on the 2p machines, smashing the 2ps out. You know what I mean? So little boomer Bison won a few prizes on that, which was cool. So yeah, been a nice couple of days. Been hard to sort of kind of focus too much on the TNA stuff because we've been so busy doing family stuff, so it's been a bit difficult. But we still got it out. We still got some posters out. We still did some, promotion. So we got it out there in the end, which was good. But it's been good. I'll tell you what though, guys, what I do want to say too is we've got a brand spanking new TNI-UK impacted logo coming very, very soon. And I hope you guys are going to love it. Because I know that Joe and Craig like it, so but we got a brand spanking new logo coming for the show. Hopefully we're gonna brand that on some t-shirts and maybe some snapbacks or something like that to get you guys going with that. That should be quite cool. It would be, I love it. It'd be great to see a few of those dotted around the UK scene somewhere, or even in the US. I'd love to. Can you imagine that watching TNA Impact one week, or or one of the pay-per-views, and there's a couple of geezers in the old in the crowd wearing the TNI UK Impacted shirt or something. That'd be quite cool. I'd be like popping at that moment. That'd make my night if I saw something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, all good. So the logo's coming soon. we'll I think we should be introducing that hopefully for next week. So look out for that. But guys, let's get into the news, rumors, and of course the TNA Impact recap of the week. Let's start off with Joe Hendry, guys. Joe Hendry food fight featuring UK talent Ian Skinner. I don't know if you know too much about Ian. I personally don't, but if Joe's talking to him, then there must be he must be pretty damn good. So I'm going to go and check this one out. I haven't checked it out yet. I've not had time. As I say, I've been spending some time with my family this week, so I've not had time to check this one out. Have any of you boys checked it out?
No, I didn't know it was on. I thought it was on this week. I didn't know. My head's been all over the place the past couple of weeks.
It was released, I think, literally just after the show finished last week, as normal on Wednesday. Comes out normally after we finish the show, so we're sort of always a week late on that one. But either way, I'm going to check it out at some point, but because I love him. I love the Joe Hendry food fights. I think they're really good. It's a sort of a different way where they're all munching down on some delicious foods and scoring it out of 5 or whatever it is. And it's good. I like it. So it's good.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Dirt Sheets reporting crap about TNA wrestling last few weeks.
Shock. Oh my god.
Let the bullshit commence. No, I mean there's been all sorts of crap shooting around. I mean the classic is got to be the Tommy Dreamer being announced as head of creative. He then actually decides to come out on Busted Open and sort of kind of basically say, nope, nothing's changed. That's a load of shit.
I heard the piece
off. Yeah, exactly.
PCO is going to be head of catering.
Is that right? I heard that as well. I thought he was going to be head of electricity.
Yeah, I don't want that bill.
Yeah, when those lights go out, he's like, fucking hell, PCO. But anyway, so typical bullshit coming out all over the place. Whatever crap they can basically find, they're splurting out. So as we all know, don't believe anything you read on the internet. Because it's all bullshit most of the time. And what I find frustrating is there's so many people out there that are basing their opinions on all sorts of things that have been going down the last couple of weeks on basically dirt sheet bullshit. So what you need to be doing is just, they've not even had another fucking show yet. Let's just focus on what we've got coming up and see where we go. And if it turns out to be a load of shit, then we can say, what the fuck's going on, Anthem? But you know what I mean? Come on. But if it turns out to be great, then all the people that have been down in it, or you're gonna have egg on your face, aren't you? Just wait and see what happens. If it turns out shit, by all means, make sure they know about it. I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, we've got to give these people a chance. Anyway, Explosion results. Here we go. So we've had so obviously this past week on Explosion, we had Trent Seven taking on the mighty Indian Lion, losing Lion Shearer,
losing part of his tooth.
The official journeyman of TNA wrestling.
Let's be honest though. Let's give Shearer some credit. He did put on a performance.
Oh,
it was a good match.
Fucking bloody brilliant match. He knocked part of Trent's tooth out, and Gia Miller's reaction to that was fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to make that into a soundbite for everyone.
Look, I am not downing Shearer at all. I think he's a good performer, but he's definitely currently the journeyman of TNA wrestling without doubt on Explosion. He's obviously got featured on every single one so far. He's been defeated, but hang on, I just remembered I haven't said hello to everybody. So let me have a quick look on the chat a second. Bad Bison, slap your wrist. So we've got Barry Monkey in the chat. We've got Mears in the chat. Eric Isaacs in the chat. Limpster's in the chat. James Pomeroy.
Is that a friend of yours? That's Jimmy P from the weekend.
Oh, is it? Hey, Jimmy P.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
doing, buddy? Yeah, cool. Zach Bonifer is obviously with us. Amir again. So yeah, we've got a few people joining. Oh, Swag fans with us again today. Bonus babies here. So everyone's coming in. You know what I mean? They're just getting in on the bandwagon, getting in on the TNI impacted. Get on in there. Leave us some of your comments. We want to know what you guys think about all the things that we're talking about today. It makes a show. To be fair, we can sit up here, we could talk our bullshit for an hour, but without you guys getting involved as well, that's what it's all about. We're a community, we're a family. So please chime in on anything and make sure we pop the stuff up, Joe, if we can. Joe's already getting excited with the sound bites this week, which is good. I'm happy with that. That's good. Right, so John Schuyler takes on Rich Swann. On this occasion, John Schuyler gets the win. Well, we don't see John win much. So nice to see him get a win, although unfortunately it's over Explosion mainstay journeyman Rich Swann, former world champion, now turned journeyman Rich Swann.
Yeah.
Who, you're always going to get a good match out of Rich, to be fair. He's a solid performer. Not sure where they're going with him at the moment. I guess there's there's a few people at the moment. They're just treading water a little bit. And I think Rich is one of those treading water a little bit until they've got something for him to get his teeth into. But obviously with John Schuyler, Jason Hotch at the moment, heavily involved in the Mustafa Ali storyline. They need to obviously make the good and solid, so they're getting a couple of wins on Explosion under their belt, which is good. We also had Around the Ring with Zaya Brookside. What did you guys think of this? Because I'm a massive fan of Zaya. I think Zaya has so much potential. It's crazy. What do you think on this one, Joe?
I thought it was brilliant. And Gia and Zaya, they literally were like the same person. It was just so enjoyable watching them talking about them, the fact that they have the same interests from. Oh god, it was so. I have to watch it again to really set my mind. I watched it like yesterday, and all I can remember is just smiling into and listening to them two talking to each other, and actually it feeling like a proper natural conversation rather than a forced interview or anything like she did with Ace Austin or anyone she said with her already on the Explosion Around the Ring.
They were just having a good chat, weren't they? Good natter.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did you see it, Craig?
Yeah. I totally agree with Joe. It was definitely pleasant to look at. But I think as well, one thing that is a big bonus as well is the fact that maybe casual fans or people who have no idea who Zaya is, it's really opening our eyes to her, and really bringing her into the roster. I'm totally agree with you. I think she's got a lot of potential. This rivalry that she's got going on with Tasha Steelz as well. We're going to see some good stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Now, what Mir's saying there, he's putting AJ Francis trying to recruit Rich Swann more. I actually believe we are going to get to see. I think Rich is going to, get pissed off with losing and stuff, and maybe we'll go under. Maybe we'll sort of kind of join forces with AJ Francis. Maybe that is what's where his future lies.
I will hold my hands up. I've become an AJ Tracy fan. I didn't really see what he was about in WWE. I've seen they're going over the rope thing, but all of a sudden this massive dude has come into TNA and he's got presence. He's got he's just brilliant. As soon as he comes out, I'm like, right, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? The fact that he's joining commentary, I think he's got a future on TNA commentary as well. To be fair.
Exactly.
I have become an AJ Tracy fan, so I think, dare I say it, quote me on this if you want to in a couple of years, but I think that TNA is going to see the best years of AJ Tracy's career.
AJ Francis.
Who's AJ Tracy?
No idea.
Brilliant. I'll Google it.
Go and check him out.
You heard it here first. Quote me on that.
But AJ Francis, I think we've got some good stuff to come from him. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Simon, nice to join us. Paul Matthewson's joined us as well, which is good. He's looking forward to No Surrender. He says he can't watch it live as up early Saturday for work, so no social media Saturday till I can watch.
Yeah, I do the same.
TNA, bonus by TNA gonna fool around and make me like Flop Dollar. Yeah, possibly.
Flop
I think
Dollar.
so. I think you never know. Flop Dollar could be. No, I think he's doing well. I mean, and also he's doing loads of stuff. He's been on all the different like ESPN. He's been all over that.
Thanks,
like,
Mia.
that's it. There you go. British rapper AJ Trace. That's why you know him.
Oh yeah, I'm well into my British rap.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
So it's been. So I think I don't know. I think they're building him quite nicely, and they're not just throwing him in like, oh yeah, check this guy out. They're building him because I think they know that they have to build it because of obviously what's gone down. He's had a bit of a tough time, and they're building him up, and I think it's great. So
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Armon is in the house. Great to see you, buddy. He's listening while he's driving on the road. So good to see you, Armon. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Okay, so Rebellion. Now, Rebellion is going to return to the Palms in Las Vegas. I'm interested in what your guys' thoughts on this is because I like loads of people are like, oh, you know, Anthem are just trying to, build them, off what Scott did, blah blah blah. I think they were always going to go there. To be honest,
the plan was to go to the plan was to bring Rebellion back to Las Vegas. That was announced back in January. They mentioned it in January that they were going to come back to Las Vegas for another pay-per-view.
They just didn't say which one.
Yeah.
So I won't lie. I did go online to check tickets. It's like $170 for front row, or it was at the time when I looked, and I thought that's still quite a steal. You know, imagine being front row at Rebellion at Golden Palms and stuff like that. That's quite a big deal. But like, you look at that venue. And like, why wouldn't they follow like what Scott's done? Do you know what I mean? It's great basis for it, and that I think that I reckon we're going to go there and smash it. It's going to be a great show. But
I hope so. I hope so. And we've got a few months to build into it as well. So I think it's going to be great. I mean, obviously they're already advertising Nick Nemeth's going to be there as well. So I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I still believe that the color scheme in the poster has obviously got some relevance because normally it would be just sort of red and white or red in like that grey color. So there's definitely some relevance in the whole green. And now with the Nick Nemeth, they're doing green and purple. Have you seen that version?
No,
it's like a new poster with Nick Nemeth on there, right? Advertising Rebellion, and it's green and purple. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Like Joker's suit.
Oh yeah, literally the same colors as the Joker's suit. Yeah. Maybe that's representing the joke is on us when
maybe anything to do with you, Joe, the Joker. Like, is there any links or anything? Is there something you need to tell us?
I don't know.
There could be something. But I'm looking forward. I think it's a lovely venue. And I'm sure, I mean, I know that it was leaked that they've been looking at Hammerstone Ballroom again. That's great, but there's no reason why they can't go there for Slammiversary or Bound for Glory. It didn't have to necessarily be Rebellion. And I think actually Hammerstone's probably a little bit too big at this moment for Rebellion, but it's probably about the right size for a Bound for Glory or for possibly Slammiversary. So we just have to wait and see.
I'm not too sure because like obviously with Cardona when he was dipping in and out of Impact and he went off and became the Deathmatch King. I did watch his GCW show that he was at, and if you can get the right crowd, like don't get me wrong, you don't want a bunch of like seated people who just sit and watch on the front row on that kind of event. To me, I would have it all standing and just get a party going on. Do you know what I mean? But I reckon that with the right crowd and with the right booking, we would like if you got like an Ultimate X going on in that sort of venue, it would be huge. It would be amazing. But I'm not Anthem. I'm not Scott D'Amore. So what do I know? Do you know what I mean? It's you can picture it and imagine it, but will we see it?
Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think it was always planned to be Rebellion. There's always planned to be there. And then they'll look at other venues for later in the year. But because you never know. Sometimes when you book a venue, it might have been that the Palm said, "No, well, yeah, we'll book it up, but to get the best price, can we have two?" And they got two bookings out of it. You know what I mean? And they got a deal for having two solid bookings out of it as well. So that's what you got to think about too. It's not just necessarily. There's not, there's always other reasons to why they decide to do something, and if it's because they've ended up getting a really great deal by booking two dates, like, who can blame them at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So, we just have to wait and see how that pans out. TNA takes advantage to extend Josh Alexander's deal for the further 12 months. Slightly unfortunate wording on this one. That went out. Now, I'm not sure whether, because a lot of people are like, oh, they handled this terribly. And I'm like, well, did they really? Because, I mean, the wording of the article was very much along the lines that they had taken advantage of being able to extend his contract for a further year. They decided to do that, etc. From what I've seen from Josh, a lot of the comments he's made, he's happy to do it. It's not like he's pissed off with them or anything like that. And also, I just think there was I don't know where that graphic come from where it says re-signs Josh Alexander, because obviously that's not quite what happened. It's a contract extension, which is very different to him re-signing. But is it where did that graphic come from? Is that a mistake from the social media department?
Apparently, that came out first from TNA Wrestling, and then they took it down. But the time in between then and that, Josh Alexander was basically waiting for them to confirm what are they actually going to be doing with him.
Oh, right. Okay.
So the whole hourglass thing was everybody waiting to find out what are they actually going to be doing with Josh Alexander, what's his actual contract status and all that now.
Okay. Funny enough, I was going to talk about the hourglass thing in a second, because I've put something down there about the hourglass emoji being used.
I do have TNA's official statement about the whole Josh Alexander thing open as well, but I'll post the link to that in the comments afterwards.
Oh, you could put it up if you want to do a share screeny Rooney. I don't mind.
Okie dokie.
We can have a little look at it and see what the official wording was.
It's definitely a head spinner.
Josh really wanted to explore other places. Do you know that for sure? Do you? But there you go.
You can't blame him.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, the bottom line is everybody is going to do that. But at the end of the day, it's in the contract and they wanted to extend it. So, that's the way it is. Okay, so what we've got, let's have a quick gander, make it bigger so I can read it. So what we've got is TNA Wrestling extended the contract to Josh Alexander. The company confirmed today, as first reported by Sports Illustrated, terms of the contract were not disclosed. Alexander is one of the most accomplished, decorated wrestlers in TNA history, a star of singles and tag team action. Alexander made his pro wrestling debut 2005 and has been a star for TNA since 2019. So there you go. And I mean, it's all very complimentary about Josh, and there's a bit in there that Josh said a few words himself. I got a lot of work to do this year. I have to find some success because I think more so than myself. The 15-year-old kid in me sitting on the couch never dreamt it was possible. Would believe that I could be TNA World Champion or TNA X Division Champion. Things that are still on my bucket list, but I know my son wants me to bring home the gold. So he's there. He's ready to do what he needs to do to perform for the company. So hopefully, fingers crossed. And there he is. There he is, right behind Joe there, looking good with Simon Gotch ready to take him on at No Surrender. So there's loads of cool stuff planned there, and I think there's you put us back now. That's it, dude. Thank you. We've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to from Josh in the future, and all of the talents. I think these guys are big stars and they want to try and keep them as long as they can. If that means at the moment they need to, exercise these extensions, then that's what they need to do, because they need to prove that
They're
TNA
serious about keeping talent.
is the place to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they need to keep the talent. It's a place to be. So all good to me. Also, from TNI UK to, of course, the original Knockout Queen herself, Gail Kim, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Gail.
Oh yes, happy birthday.
Yes, definitely. SWAC fans say we need to hear from the new president. Again, what's his vision with the company and roster and all that kind of stuff. We've not had a show yet, right? He's not been in charge of the company for an official show yet. So let's wait and see what No Surrender.
We'll be seeing all that by No Surrender, and after No Surrender is when he'll be officially taking over.
Exactly. So I think from that point on, that's when we need to really start to see what this guy's all about.
Do you think that we'll see him as like an active member of the roster though? Like, do you think he's going to walk out to the ring?
No, I don't think so. No, but we might see like an interview, maybe.
Yeah. Can we not just get Vicky Guerrero to walk out and speak on his behalf?
Oh
Yeah,
God,
maybe.
no, that would drive more people away. Great as Vicky Guerrero is, if she starts screaming down the microphone, people are gonna switch off.
Yeah. I think what people need to start getting used to though is that this guy is not like an on-screen character. He's not gonna.
He's not going to be Tony Khan and Vince McMahon.
No. He's not going to exactly. He's not going to suddenly turn up and I'm the boss and start the kiss my ass movement or any of that kind of stuff. He's not there for any of that, right? He's basically there to run a business. That's what he's there for, right? We were lucky that Scott, being a wrestling in person, being pretty good on the mic and as and when needed for that type of stuff, he could play that kind of that presidential kind of character, as well as do other things. So that's great. But again, I still think we possibly need a on-screen authority figure of some sort. But again, that'll probably end up being Tommy. Or maybe we'll start seeing a little bit more from Santino Marella or something like that. In the scrotissimus regions.
In the scrotissimus region?
You never know. You never know. But
That's disgusting!
But this past
Bobby
week
Ray.
this past week on Impact, Frankie Kazarian defeated Jake Something in what I thought was a badass match. What were your thoughts on this one, Joe? What were your thoughts?
Wow, what a way to open up a night. Jesus, this was incredible. I thought Jake Something when it was actually going to shut Frankie Kazarian off, and then it would end with Kazarian just going all full out mental after the match. But my God, this was brilliant. And the thing is, he didn't get Something didn't get dominated. Kazarian just outsmarted him basically, which was really, really good to see too. So they both got an amazing showing in this match, and they took a hell of a beating.
Oh, they did. I thought it was a solid match. What did you think, Craig?
Oh man, you just can't underestimate Jake Something. That's definitely a future world champion, I reckon. But you're never gonna outsmart someone like Kaz. Like Kaz is a genius when it comes to like the in-ring stuff. So, but I totally agree with Joe when I was like, oh, I'll put the show on, and then I thought, oh, shall I go make a cup of tea? Like, because usually in the past, the first match has been a throwaway match on certain networks and stuff. But this one, I was just like, boom, gripped straight away. Yeah. And that's something that I've noticed since it's gone back to TNA. Like, what was the other one? The other week we had, Wentz versus Nemeth. It's the first match. It's just like straight off the cuff, boom. You've got like what I probably would put down as like a main event. In some aspects. And they're starting off with it.
And they're kicking it off with a big bang.
Yeah, but like this second time round, I'm trying to think if it's the second time round. Like we had when Jake Something was cousin Jake with Cody Deaner and stuff. He was cool then, but then when he started to come out as Jake Something, and then he disappeared and went off to be on Tony's shelf in AEW. Now he's come back. I'm kind of hoping that he knows that TNA can be his home, and he can become like a great star. So I hope he uses it to his advantage rather than, only in my opinion, in the past, kind of expecting people to make him the star. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We've got a good guy in Jake something for sure.
Definitely, I agree. Now EY in a backstage promo challenges Kaz. Basically, after the past few weeks of watching Frankie from backstage, behind the curtain, peeping, just keeping an eye on what Frankie's up to. So he challenges Frankie. Now, I believe that match is going to take place this week, which is really weird because that's obviously what was said, but they didn't actually advertise it this week.
No,
they haven't advertised that match. I noticed that, but I have added it on my card for tomorrow because I think it will happen, even though they've not advertised it. But that's it. An interesting dynamic there, where we're going to go with that one. EY and Kaz obviously not happy. We've got Jordynne Grace defeats Savannah Evans. Obviously Gisele Shaw was ringside with her ex. Now, after the match, Gisele comes into the ring and attacks both Grace and Evans with the X. Obviously, she won an Ultimate X from Hard to Kill. I mean, what were your thoughts on this whole situation? I mean, I think this is quite obvious because at the end of the day, she's at ringside. She's sat, on the steps. She's waiting for Savannah to basically lose to the world, to the Knockouts World Champion, and then she gets in there and basically lays them out. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Craig?
Well, like you said, it did kind of seem, a bit predictable that Savannah was going to lose, but I thought, she did really well. I thought it was quite a good match. She sold the moves quite well, and she did hold her own. But the ending, I can't say I've seen it coming, but you could kind of see that like the whole entourage was going to start breaking away. Personally, I hope that Savannah goes on now and, much like I said about Jake something, kind of finds her groove and becomes a great character. But then with Gisele, I'm like, it's going to be hard for her to be a one-trick pony, like a Lone Ranger, if you know what I mean. I think she kind of needs the entourage, just in my opinion. I don't think she's developed enough and strong enough character to go alone at the minute.
Well, if you look at Eric Isaac's comment there, he's got that he thinks Savannah or Jay will cause Gisele the title, will cost Gisele the title at No Surrender. Yeah. So because I can't see Grace losing yet, she's too high on the list. I think at the moment she's got a reign for a while.
I think Ash By Elegance may cost Gisele Shaw the title.
Maybe.
Yeah. Battle to see who gets the full spotlight.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
And of course, Simon's saying this could actually there could be a couple of ways to build up Savannah as a solo star.
Yeah.
But right now, give Gisele a way out if she decides to leave, for instance. Again, I don't think it's quite as easy as that. To see Jay getting matches now, though, is good as well, because we saw Jay's match on Explosion, which I thought was a really good match against Laredo Kid. Really good match. So we then go backstage. George Iceman, obviously, basically shoes off Gia Miller. And she starts the hype train for obviously the following week in-ring debut of Ash by Elegance. She comes out and informs us all that she's going to be making an in-ring debut, blah, 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 next week on Impact. So we've got that to look forward to. I think that J Bone might get a bit excited over this one. But I guess we'll have to wait and see whether he does. But so we've got that happening this week as well. So in-ring debut of Ash by Elegance. So we're looking forward to that. Via an episode of Alan Angel's Soundcheck, we find out the reasons for Simon Gotch attacking Josh Alexander last week through the barricades, as it were. And obviously this is related back to when Josh was originally signed. It was Simon that he was facing that day, and obviously got the win over him, and he's not happy about it, and he said, look at where your career has gone, winning world titles and all this kind of stuff, and look where mine has gone, and I need to prove myself again.
Yeah.
And Josh, I'm going to make an example of Josh, basically. That's what he said.
Mm.
So okay, storytelling and a long-term stuff as well. So what are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
I thought that it was a great way to introduce him to everyone who doesn't know him. I was always wondering who was the guy that Josh Alexander beat to get Scott D'Amore to sign him, and so when I watched his whole promo with Alan Angels, that for me was like, yes, he is someone that is always out of the equation when you talk about how Josh Alexander got to where he was. No one ever talks about who he beat to get signed to TNA.
That's true.
And so, it reminds me in a way of Eddie Edwards not getting a shot against Kenny Omega. It's something that everyone overlooks, and
yes,
that frustration's finally built up enough for him to come into the US and take out a former world champion and face of the company. And it's set up the match brilliantly. If it didn't need any more hype to go for it, just for Josh Alexander getting attacked by some random person.
Yeah.
So it's really added heat to the match, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's working well. I think lots of people are sort of kind of a little bit hyped for this one. Hence why I used obviously Josh and Simon for the header this week, because I felt that it was definitely worthy of it, and I think it's going to be an amazing match.
I'm all about Gotch, to be fair. I'm all about him. He's been like he was a star in MLW, and like he's just. I think I said to you in the private chat, I was just like, he reminds me a bit of Killer Cross, not so much character-wise, but kind of like he's got that eeriness about him. There's quite a lot to his character, and I think like if we look at our current roster, like listing off people that he could go against, he'd have a great match against someone like Wentz, someone like Macklin, someone like PCO. Obviously, he's going to have a match against Josh, but I think that if we can keep him around, then we've definitely got another star on our TNA roster for sure.
Definitely. So, Simon's just mentioned there as well. Gotch has actually said himself that he's actually signed, so
nice.
that's really good news as well. But he's amazing, absolutely amazing. ABC managed to defeat GYV. I love it. In a second of a best of 3 matches, obviously set that up nicely for final match at No Surrender. I really hope we're going to see more of the GYV. Regardless of the fact they're Liverpudlian, obviously. But
no comment.
I do want to see. I want to see more of those guys. Swag fans got a question. Should we hope? Should we have gotten a little bit more build up with the Josh and Simon guys? Not complaining though, just wondering. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think now we've had that sound check where he explains everything. It makes perfect sense. That's why he's come in. That's why he wants Josh. This is the reason. So I'm down with it. I'm down with it, definitely. We then get Dirty Dango. He's putting out a casting call, basically for a tag team to face him and Proteus. I think, honestly, I'm not going to say Oleg anymore because it sounds ridiculous. I'm just going to call him Proteus. Right. So, he puts it out there. So I have a funny feeling we're obviously going to get to see some sort of random tag team appear to take them on, another tag team for them to sort of kind of basically squash, I should imagine. So that's an interesting thing. And Barry's saying Scousers are wonderful people, kind.
I'll tell you what, I just want to hear the GYV say kettle. That's all I want to hear. If they can say kettle, then they they'll win me over. But I don't think I've got time to try and see if they'll do it or not.
It out. Yeah, no, you never know. Right, Mustafa Ali vows. I said vows. I don't know why I said vows to reignite the X division by defeating Sabin at No Surrender. Now I'm going to say this out right now. I think Mustafa Ali is going to win at No Surrender. I think he's going to take Sabin out. There you go. That's my thoughts on that one. I honestly believe it. I really do. I honestly believe that. especially knowing that he's going to be in the next set of tapings,
Yeah.
and I think they've signed him as well. Crazy Steve defeats Rhino in a DMC title match.
Good.
Wow, this match was brilliant.
I'm going to go Joe on this one because I know he loves the whole Crazy Steve and all that kind of stuff. So go on, mate. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was a fantastic match. We didn't see Rhino get as much leniency as Tommy Dreamer would do in a non no DQ match. So Crazy Steve used all that to basically play the match. Rhino got the table out. Crazy Steve kept distracting him with weapons and stuff being introduced and thrown out and introduced and thrown out. And he took a bit of a beating from Rhino too throughout the match. So he wasn't a pushover, and he just basically let Rhino's frustration get the better of him, and then outsmarted him and won. So
Right.
It's not over between these two. I don't see it ending there, but I would love to see these two go at it again. Maybe maybe no DQ, maybe in a cage match or something. It would be so good to see these two go at it again because it was a really good match.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a good match as well. So I'm down with that. I don't know whether I want to see it again, but I know what you're saying. Could be interesting. Okay, I'm cool with that. Now, while Joe Hendry is making his entrance, he's interrupted by AJ Francis. So we're getting to AJ territory now, who unveils a new music video that pokes fun at Hendry. Hendry files back with a music video of his own, signing that AJ Francis is banned from diving. Dina blindsides Hendry while he's preoccupied with Francis. Francis joins the fray before Swan comes to the aid of Hendry. So, so we were talking about AJ Francis earlier. I'm down with AJ Francis at the moment. I'm loving the way that they're building this up. I think it's a slow burn. And it's starting to get more and more interesting. You've got the I love the AJ Styles
that was
music
fantastic.
being used for this.
One of the best things they've done with it, I think.
I thought it was really good, hilarious, and it's good to hear that music again as well. So it was all good. What's Barry saying? Mr. Ali is doing the same gimmick everywhere. I think he's going to be like a Matt Cardona everywhere and nowhere permanent.
Yes.
Yeah, probably, but I still believe that he's signed a even if it's 6 months to do a 6 month storyline, he's there for a little bit. So if he wins and he carries that for 6 months, I'm cool with it. And then drops it to somebody else, that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm cool with it. And I think
he could even vacate it and try it like against Moose.
Maybe, but I'm saying now. I'm saying now. I think he's going to be around for a little while, and I'm for it. I'm good with it. But going back to AJ Francis, I think this is building nicely. Hendry doesn't know where he's going to go with it. Maybe Dina has now joined Francis. I'm not sure, but what we've got here is some interesting build. I think it's really weird though that all of a sudden that Dina is back when he was killed. He had his neck broken. I don't understand how he's still alive, but he is.
That's kayfabe.
So, that's kayfabe. But there you go. So there's that. We got Dani Luna defeating Killer Kelly. That was a little bit of a surprise, but I'm cool with it because I am a fan of Dani, and it makes sense with regards to the story they're trying to build as well. So because we had after the match, MK Ultra, of course, attack Dani and Jody when Decay comes out and sends MK Ultra back up the ramp. So we're obviously creating tension again with Decay. Is Decay on a recruitment drive? I mean, could we see, Dani and Jody join forces as members of Decay? I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think's going on here, Craig?
I would have been more in favor if MK Ultra was joining Decay, but that's me just being favoritist because I think like the characters kind of suit it a bit better. But it was a hell of a match, and like I'm much like you. We seen Dani Luna live in Coventry, and she's brilliant. She really is, and I was quite glad that she got the win. I didn't want it to hurt my Killer Kelly, but still, she
nobody wants her to hurt the wife.
No, but it was a pretty cool match, and I think that yet again TNA is using like female wrestling putting it out there, you know, at the top of the card, and you know, we're going to see some good storylines amongst the knockouts. So I'm quite excited to see what happens with it. But again, like I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they would, you know, join with DK, unless DK are going to fall away from DK and go back to those, you know, human characters that they were. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, you've got Dani and Jody are quite sort of, you know, darkish characters. I know what you're saying about MK Ultra. They're dark characters, right? But they're dark in a different way. They're not supernatural, whereas Decay is sort of supernatural. MK is more kind of like psychopathic.
Yeah.
Kind of, do you know what I mean? Like psychological. So very.
I think they'd all be on borrowed time until Kylie King comes back.
Well, yeah, exactly. Everyone.
I hope, I hope she comes back and just sweeps the floor with everyone, because I reckon that's a character that TNA could thrive on.
Yeah, I think so. I think Kylie's going to be amazing. So I can't wait for her, but it's going to be a little while before we see her back, which is a shame because she is incredible. And I watched her talking with Taylor Wall the other day, and they were talking about the whole the coven thing. That they didn't want to break the coven up at all. They felt they had a lot more to go with it, but of course, Taylor was having issues. I think psychological issues as well as physical. I think it was sort of kind of juggling everything in her like mainstay life as a firefighter, and of course, being a mum and all that kind of stuff, and being a rest. I think it was just sort of, she was finding everything just a little bit too hard, and it just was getting on top of her. So that's fine. It just didn't work out, but it's a real shame because I think the coven could have built. Because I've always said the whole time, the coven needed a minimum of 3.
Yeah,
they needed a minimum of 3. 2 is not a coven. 3 is a coven. You know what I mean? We talked about this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
But either way, I think that the bottom line is this. It is a shame, and maybe the coven, they could revisit the coven in 12 months time or something. Possibly we could get some sort of kind of conclusion to the coven at some point, which I think would be good. Or Taylor comes back, and like, what the fuck, Kylan, you've turned on me, you bitch, and we could end up with a feud between Taylor and Kylan, which could be interesting. Maybe Kylan takes on the witchiness and becomes the leader of her own coven. I don't know, all sorts of stuff. There's loads of things you could do with it. But Kylan is amazing, and I've got a lot of time for her. Moose comes out, obviously, defeats Kushida. Moose. After everyone is banned from ringside. But Moose and Kushida go at it. After the match, Brian Myers, Eddie, and Alicia Edwards continue the assault on Kushida until Alex Shelley, Kevin Knight even the odds. Shelley, Kushida, and Knight clear the ring, and then, of course, as always, Impact goes off air. Again, more build between obviously the sort of kind of not the faction as such, but like the little group of friends with Kevin Knight, Kushida, Alex Shelley. I'm assuming Chris Sabin get involved in this at some point. Plus, versus the system of Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, Alicia Moose, etc. So we've got more and more of this being built. The bad blood between these groups.
Yeah.
I like it. It's building well. There's definitely a reason for these guys to not like each other and want to have a scrap every now and again, and for whatever reason. I'm good with it. But yeah, so I'm cool. What were your thoughts on what went down here, Joe?
First of all, the match itself was unbelievable. Moose has taken a massive beating now before his big match at No Surrender on Friday, and I still see him walk. And whoever walks away is not down to who's the most physically fit. It's down to the guys at ringside now, with all the rules changes. So it's all going to be playing. Is the system going to hold it together, or Alex Shelley's friend's going to try and save him before he basically gets himself killed? The rivalry just at the end of last week's show, you just saw that whole tension just explode even more. When they attacked Kushida the week beforehand, and Alex Shelley beat Eddie Edwards. So it's just every week we're getting to shoot another spike in the momentum for it, and it's just I can't wait to see what's coming on this Thursday, and then the match itself Friday. I'll probably be catching up on Saturday, but it's going to be a hell of a way to end the month and end the week with no surrender.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a hell of a Thursday night Impact leading into No Surrender special. It really is. I'm really glad to see Kevin Knight also. I think next Spike One is just put up there about seeing Kevin Knight become a regular. I agree. Kevin Knight is an amazing talent, so I'm very, very happy to see him turn up on a very regular basis. I think he's a very good addition to the TNA roster right now, so I'm glad he's back on a regular basis. I'm assuming that he's still obviously signed to New Japan, but he's obviously getting a bit more of a show in here now with Impact, which I think with TNA, which I think is great. But anyway, so we're heading in. Let's have a chat about No Surrender, shall we? Because we've got some big matches for No Surrender. So let's preview that. Obviously the countdown match that's been announced so far, and I believe there's going to be another one added to this. We've got the System, obviously Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards versus Kushida and Kevin Knight. So again, we're getting to see Kevin Knight, which is good, and Kushida. These guys have obviously tag team. They are an established New Japan Pro Wrestling tag team, so that's really cool to see that. I think again we're building the System up. They're going to be on they're going to be on the countdown show. What are your thoughts on this match, Craig?
Well, I don't know. It's. I think like the way that they've laid it out, having the countdown show with the System, which is going to be like the biggest thing, in TNA wrestling. They're supporting the world champion and all that sort of stuff. I think that's a bit of a downplay on them, a little bit. But then the Knockouts tag title and starting that at the top of the card, is that binning it off early? I said earlier that we would kind of have them. They do kind of give the female wrestlers, the Knockouts, a bit more of a prime slot. But then again, I'm shooting myself in the foot here because, like I said to Joe earlier, that we've been starting off the shows with some of the biggest matches. So
yeah,
I'm 50-50. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard to say, like, is it good or is it wrong? I think the problem is at the minute. Well, it's a lovely problem to have. Is we got so many storylines, we got so many things spinning, so many plates spinning, that we've just got so many things that could happen. It's hard to get bored. Do you know what I mean?
I think what it does do by having them on early is it sort of kind of like gives you time to forget about them a little bit, and then later on, maybe they will play a part, in later things on No Surrender itself. But they've got their match out of the way. Whoever wins from that perspective, or might even get thrown out, or we get someone turn up that basically throws a spanner in the works. There's loads of things you can do from a storytelling point of view at the point by having them on the countdown show. Plus, when you look at the talents involved in that, that's a hell of a match to wet the whistle of anybody interested in possibly paying for No Surrender. They could go, wow, this is pretty cool. That's what people forget as well. Actually, the countdown matches are not necessarily a downgrade, because the responsibility on a countdown match is to get people to think, yeah, fuck me, I should be getting this show. I should be watching this No Surrender. True. So you don't want to go putting your weakest wrestlers on the countdown show, do you? You want to be putting the ones that are going to deliver. So I don't know. I think that it's a big responsibility for the wrestlers involved to put on a really, really good show.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right there, though, because like you look at one of the previous countdown shows, we had Rich Swann versus Steve Macklin, and that match in itself, I was like, that should have been, on the main card. But like you say, I suppose with these countdowns, I forget that they're like they're free to viewers. People can watch.
Exactly. This one is free. This one as well. Not like the Hard to Kill one. That one wasn't, but this one is free.
Yeah.
But Barry's got a great idea. He's saying he'd like to see Zaya join Time Machine.
Yeah. Well, and see what she's got planned after Tasha's heels. because
There's
I
got to
think
be something going on. There's got to be something going on.
we got that
Definitely.
match announced for No Surrender. I think that'll probably be the second match on the pre-show. Is Sarah Brooks like Natasha Steele's round 3?
No, that's going to happen at the Bayou show.
Oh right,
That's going to happen the day after.
I saw it announced for No Surrender, but wherever it's coming, and it's going to be a damn good match. I can't wait for it. So
that's definitely happening at the following day at the TV tapings. That's when it's been advertised for anyway. But there's no reason why there couldn't be another Knockouts match.
There's going to be
in
something
the pre-show. I think there probably will be, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
like normal. We're going to at least get another match tomorrow, I'm sure. We got to. Otherwise, that would suck. I think it's always a good idea to get at least one match at that the go home show. You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to it. So we head into No Surrender, and let's look at the matches that we've got advertised so far. So we've got, obviously, we've already spoke about the Knockouts tag title, Decay versus MK Ultra. What's going to happen here? I don't know. I still have a feeling that something's going to happen here. I saw some on social media the other day where Rosemary was hinting at Savannah Evans joining the Decay family. I don't know. Maybe that's the, because something else I noticed as well, right, is that, and I've not seen Savannah wear what she wore against Jordan. She was wearing all.
I noticed that. Yeah.
She was wearing all black, all sort of kind of in that style.
Can you imagine her in Havoc though?
Oh, that'd be fucking great, team.
I think would. Craziness. So I don't know. Is she heading to become part of Decay? Could be interesting.
Hope so.
Could be interesting if they could create some sort of monster out of her, some sort of monster character. It would be very
female PCO.
Oh, baby.
Havoc's already the female PCO. She's been to the Undead Realm and back. God knows how many times. She's been in the Undead Wastelands and sent there by...
just needs jump leads.
Wasteland. And talking of PCO, we've obviously got PCO versus Con, the monster match. Now, I see you're saying that, but I'm actually really looking forward to this match. I'm PCO just amazes me every time he wrestles. But Con is looking like an absolute animal right now. And this is the Con I always wanted. So I'm down with this. I want to see where this goes. Whether I don't know who's going to win, because they're clearly creating a push for Con.
I think wrestling wins in that match. Because like their little to do that they had on last week's show, I've seen more convincing fights in Coronation Street. It was just too cheesy, and I'm like, I wanted Con to split PCO open. I wanted Con to just go absolutely sick, like he's breaking people's necks and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I wanted him to fully kick ass. But it was just, it was there. But I was like, look, you're not on NXT no more. Do you know what I mean? You can actually be a character. You can actually do something. PCO can take a bump. My God, can he take a bump?
Yeah.
Throw him in the crowd. Run him over. He's been like set on fire and everything.
Running over with his gurney.
He got PCO is being slammed through the ring by Doc Gallows. Set on fire, thrown into a bed of nails by Sammy Callahan.
He's had to drink
gasoline. His lips stapled.
Lips stapled.
He's a beast. And I tell you what, he's looking great in a minute as well. He's been spending a lot of time in the gym and stuff. He's looking fantastic.
Oh man, he does.
There's still room for this match to get some changes to it too. I think it not being a Monsters Ball match or anything like that is a bit of a disappointment so far, but I can see that changing. I hope it does. So I want to see them go full belt, no holds barred, no restrictions.
I am cool with that.
Because it'll make Con look a lot more badass than he already is. If you give him a load of weapons to smash PCO.
His vignette, like Con's vignette the other week, like with the red light and stuff like that. That I was like, oh my God, I'm about this guy. And then this thing with PCO, it just undersold it for me. Like just put him against Jay Vidal. have Jay Vidal have to be carried out the ring on a stretcher or put him in a body bag or something. Do you know what I mean? Just completely bury a character. They need to make Con just like, you know, this is something that we needed Sami Callihan to push. Do you know what I mean? He could have called Con out and had him as like a new monster or something, but Con on his own. Yeah, I think like I can see the direction it's going. I hope it gets better because last week I was like, oh God, you know, nah.
He's a beast. It's going to prove to be a beast. But what you watch, you wait and see. Tag titles, final match of 3, ABC, GYV. Again, this is, you know, again, wrestling fans are the winners on this one. It's going to be amazing. Obviously, I'm rooting for ABC, but I would still like to see GYV stick around because I think they're a hell of a team. And yeah, I'd love to see them stick around and maybe see the guys do some solo stuff as well. You know what I mean? I'd definitely like to see Drake get a solo run. I think he's fucking awesome. Got a lot of time for him. We've also then got the X Division title match with Chris Sabin versus Mustafa Ali. As I said, I'm down if they've signed him for at least 6 months, like a 6-month, you know, kind of run. I'm down with that for him to take the title. And yeah,
they've gone for 6 shows or something, haven't they? I've seen that.
Oh, only 6 shows.
Well, I might, you know, it might have changed now. But like on the initial thing, they'd signed him for 6 shows. That's why they've given this whole character run and stuff like that. And they're so invested.
Okay, because he's always done. So at the moment, he will have done 1 because he's on the show tomorrow. Am I right? No.
It might be 6 matches. It might be 6 actual performances. I'm not sure.
Right. Okay. Because so maybe his first match is No Surrender. I know that he's at the tapings after that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I like what you say about, like, you know, it'd be cool if Mustafa won it, but you know, given the career that Sabin's had and stuff like that, I personally, with this whole thing with Josh recently, you know, I'm not trying to predict the future or anything like that, but I think if Josh has had this year extension actioned, which he might not have been, you know, that settled on, I think that Sabin should exercise option C and possibly win the title. I would like to see someone like Sabin or Kaz or EY, some, like, you know, original TNA guy have that title, but I think that Sabin's probably in the strongest position to go for that. I would like to see an option C come back again.
Okay, all right. Well, everyone has their thoughts on that sort of stuff, and you know, why not? You know,
yeah, we don't have to agree.
No, exactly. I mean, if you're, that's cool. But I just sort of kind of feel, well, you know what, Sabin is at his time now. You know, he's the most amount of title runs. He's now on his longest title run, and you know what I mean. I don't know. I just think it's time to get someone else in there to really push that division and show it off a bit more. That isn't necessarily a TNA guy that only TNA people really know. It'd be nice to see a Mustafa Ali, you know, carrying that around, if you know what I mean. That's the way I see it. So we've then got obviously Josh Alexander versus Simon Gotch. We talked about that briefly.
Hell yeah.
He's also stated that he's signed. But I'm of the opinion that Josh Alexander will get another title run at some point.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to be dependent on I guess, you know, how the next things, how it sort of kind of progresses over the next couple of months. I think with Anthem, whether they're going to be comfortable with doing that, we'll see. We've also got the Knockouts title match. We also hit on that briefly just now. Jordynne Grace versus Gisele Shaw. Now, again, Jordan's going to win. I'm pretty certain of that. But what I'm feeling is, how is Gisele going to lose? Because this is not her first title shot, and she's had a couple of chances and she's lost them. But I can't see Jordynne losing anytime soon. So it's going to be, how does Gisele lose, rather than Jordynne's going to necessarily get the 1, 2, 3 in a straight match. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's why they are really making sure that Gisele's got some enemies.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I don't know.
Well, at the moment, just Gisele Shaw's only friend is Gail Kim, and Gail Kim is basically an innocent bystander in the whole situation. So, she's made it clear that she doesn't want anybody else to be by her side. So God knows he's going to come after. I still think Ash by Elegance is going to have something to do with it. She'll cross paths with Gisele Shaw like this Thursday or something, and something's going to get said between them, which is going to spark some tension between them, and that might build into something then.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Okay,
it's interesting. I'm looking forward to the match regardless. And Jordynne Grace and Gisele Shaw have faced off a couple of times in the past, and they've put on some fucking brilliant matches. And
there's no doubt about it. Gisele is an amazing in-ring performer. No one can take that away from her. And she's good on the mic as well. I'm just not so sure I like the character. I think that's my problem. I'm not so keen on the character. But, either way, I think it's going to be a really good match. So, again, the fans are a winner in this one. I think it's going to be really good. We've then got the
Gisele Shaw made me jump out my fucking skin at Coventry.
Mate, that was good. We're having a conversation with her,
filming away like that, and then boom, she's right there. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, she's cool. So we've got the TNA World Title match, no surrender rules. Moose versus Chris. Alex Shelley. I don't know why I wrote Chris there, but never mind. Alex Shelley. And no surrender rules. So that's the whole throwing the towel in thing. They're relying on their corner, their friends in their corner to basically look after them. I think that's right.
Yeah.
So it's where they feel that basically their guy cannot go any further and they don't want to see them get hurt, basically. Who's going to look after their friends the most? Who can they trust the most, basically? So interesting. Very, very interesting. And like Joe said, Moose probably is going to win. So who is going to basically sell Alex Shelley out? And I think the most obvious candidate to create a feud moving on has got to be Chris Sabin. I think. Yeah. I think he's the.
I was getting a bad gut feeling when you started talking about that. Then I was just like,
we saw Chris Sabin snap last week. Mustafa Ali's got into his head already. He made him snap and take out that guy backstage when Hotch and Skyler were ripping into him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But Simon Plum saying he thinks it's a heel turn from Kushida, possibly. I don't know. Could be Simon. But that's where I think we're going with it. I think it's going to be a case of who's going to turn on Alex Shelley to then give him a feud moving forward.
I'm going to go with Bison and say I think that it'll be Sabin because, like Joe said, he snapped. But if you think about it, you've got Kevin Knight, Kushida, and Alex Shelley. They'll stick together. You've got the System. They'll stick together. Maybe we see. Well, do you know what? Maybe Sabin's going to join Decay. Hail Sabin! We could see a real dark turn from him.
Hell Sabin!
Yeah,
you never know.
But it's exciting.
It is exciting stuff, and I think they've added an element in there with that match whereby you just don't know who's going to be the person that literally turns their guy over, because somebody's got to turn their guy over. And they're going to be upset with that guy regardless, aren't they?
Yeah, at the moment, the only reason why I don't see Sabin doing it is like Simon said, Sabin isn't involved in the match. He's not in Alex Shelley's corner legally in terms of how the match has been played out so far. He's got his focus is Mustafa Ali, and he's not going to be ringside when the match starts. It's not been booked for him to be ringside. So it's going to be will the System break, or will the loyalty to keep Alex Shelley fighting finally just say we can't have you going any longer. We don't want you to get yourself killed.
You've got to trust the System. Got to trust the System.
I trust the System. So
I thought you would. I'm pretty sure you trust the System, Mr.
Well, you saw that slap Lester gave to Kushida. I don't want one of them.
Fair enough. Okay, guys, listen, before we go on, we need you guys to hit that thumbs up. Really, really important if you can hit that. Share the show. help us move up those rankings. And if you feel flushed, then please feel free to drop us a super sticker or super chat, or and we'll throw you out. We'll throw you out a shout out and all sorts of stuff like that if you're willing, if you want to do that. And of course, you can always support us by looking at the shirts and all that kind of stuff as well. But all your support is very, very much welcome, and we're very, very much appreciated. Okay, TNA Impact this Thursday. We've got Ash by Elegance in-ring debut. Now I'm assuming that's probably going to be some, I don't know, indie star local person, where she's going to just get in there and kick the shit out of her. We've got Chris Sabin versus Jason Hotch. Again, that's all part of this Mustafa Ali storyline there, with obviously the good hands back in Mustafa Ali right now. So that could be interesting. Will Skylar get involved in this? Very likely, I should imagine. We've also got Simon Gotch, his in-ring debut. Again, no one has been stated on who that's going to be. So
that'll either be out to the ring. Why Josh barged in and nearly took him out during the whole thing without an angel's Christ.
That's the thing. What he's going to get? He's going to be pissed, isn't he? Regardless. We've also got, which I think is going to be an awesome match, Steve Macklin versus Trent Seven.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be fucking brilliant.
I've been really looking forward to Trent Seven matches, especially.
Did you hear about Macklin? They're saying about his deals up in May. Do you think
so?
You're going to re-sign him?
I saw that, but again, I would imagine that they've got the opportunity to do an extension for Steve as well.
He's in the UK in the end of April, so
he is.
I don't know how. Is he going to be gone in May? I hope not. I want him to stay on. He's my guy.
I love Steve Macklin. He's. I told you, he's my. Steve. He's my Stone Cold Steve Austin replacement.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. I got a lot of time with Steve Macklin, and I think his character's got so much more room for development. So much more to come from Steve Macklin, from a character point of view, where that develops. I got a lot of time for him. But anyway, so you got that. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Now, it's not advertised on the site, but it was advertised on the show last week. So we've got Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian. So I've put it in there because it was advertised to happen in that promo that EY gave. It was going to happen. So, that's interesting. We've also got the System, obviously Moose, Myers, and Edwards. This is a 6-man tag versus Kevin Knight, Kushida, and Shelley. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be the main event. I mean,
let's get the bad blood flowing.
I mean, this is obviously leading in to the matches that we've got in No Surrender, and continuing that storytelling, that storyline. Really good. So just like the Steve Macklin and the Trent Seven is forwarding the storyline with regards to them, Nick Nemeth, the Rascals, and so on. I'm assuming Steve's going to have the Rascals in his corner, and Trent Seven's probably going to have, Mike Bailey and Nick Nemeth or whatever in his corner. So, there's a lot of storytelling going on right now, and I think you need to pay attention to a lot of things that's going on outside the ring. Behind the curtain, you've got to be paying attention to a lot of this stuff to really start to get a grip on all the little, intricate things that is going on with all the different storylines that they've got going on at the moment. It's really good. I'm really excited. I saw a couple of people saying, "Oh, this," like moaning about the shows last week, saying it was a load of crap. And I'm like, really? Like, it's fucking good, mate. That was a really good show.
I don't know what they're expecting or what they're watching, to be fair, if that's their opinion.
But you know what it is? It's because Scott's been gone, so it must be shit now. Well, he was actually there for this set of tapings, so this is his stuff. So you're saying it's a load of shit. Well, what you say is good job Scott's gone then. Because so I don't know. It's just silly stuff, really. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I think it's really, really good.
But then, in the words of Scott D'Amore, negative buzz, still buzz. So, it doesn't matter, what people say and stuff like that. If they're talking about it, then they're interested.
Exactly. Yeah, in some way they're definitely interested.
Yeah,
Or they certainly enjoy talking shit about something they probably don't even watch.
that's it.
There you go. But guys, that's about all we've got time for this week. Also, if you want to show your support for TNI UK team, please feel free. Obviously, like I said before, super chat, super stickers, or just head over to prowrestlingtees.com/Total North Impact for some great shirts. They've got good Bison one over there. Go and check that one out. Head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch store. Links are, of course, below, and are actually, if you go to shop on our YouTube channel, you can access it through that as well. Some lovely stuff on there. J Bone's always updating that, so go and check that one out. All TNI shows are available to all of you listening on the Go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can follow me on Twitter at JOK Empty Space. You can jump onto Twitter or to Facebook, look for hashtag Empty Space, hashtag Into the Void. Or if you fancy to tickle your taste buds and you sense him, hashtag Daily Giggle. But approach is an open mind, you just might keep your sanity.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Limpster?
I tried to be clever and I tried to put it right there. So it's like LimpstarUK with no space. And it's on Insta, TikTok, Facebook. It's probably on LinkedIn. It's probably on Face Party. I'm that old. I might still have MySpace. Who knows? But I've wore this name out for ages. Yeah.
The Internet is on the Twitter sphere or the X sphere.
Oh, do you know what? I've not jumped onto the X. Get on
the X.
Yeah, I might do. But mate, I'm having trouble keeping up with the socials I'm on.
Oh, mate, honestly, X is hilarious. I love X. It makes me die. Okay, if you need to follow Total Nonstop Impact on the socials, we are everywhere at We Talk Impact on the Instanet, on the Facebook, on the X, wherever you want to find us, we are there at We Talk Impact, the same handle for all of them. Find me at Lord Bison 45 on, of course, the X. And don't forget to check me out on TikTok at Bison by Design. I'm on there as well. So go and check that one out. Now, guys, listen, please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to give the bell a tickle, a squeeze, or a smash to never miss any of the great content coming out from TNI UK and the US teams each and every single week. With all that said, I've been your host, Bison, and they have been, of course, the Joker and the man simply known as Limpster. And this has been episode 169 of Impacted. Take care, guys.
Take care.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!